day, everyone. Before we start, we'd like to inform you that this is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardinis, to use this as an educational purpose only.
Objectives. Discussions about how has the internet impact discussions and understanding of gender and sexuality. How does society affects gender and sexuality? What affects the gender of an individual? How does gender affects the personality? What is sexuality? Difference between sex and gender. Personality of temperament. Social or environmental factors, and lastly, sexual orientation.
The topic that I will be discuss is how has the internet impact discussions and understanding of gender and sexuality. So, the internet has had a significant impact on discussion and understanding of gender and sexuality. Here are few ways. First is increase access to information. The internet has made it easier for people to access information about gender and sexuality because people can now search for information and resources on topics such as gender identity, sexual orientation, and sexual health, which they may not have had access in the past. So, the second is increased visibility for marginalized groups. So, the internet has provided a platform for marginalized groups to share their stories and experiences, which has helped to increase visibility and understanding of gender and sexuality issues. So, social media platforms in particular have enabled people to connect with others who share their experiences, providing support and validation. So, and the third one is increase opportunities for education and advocacy. Um, the internet has made it easier for people to engage in education and advocacy around gender and sexuality issues. Online courses, webinars, and workshops are now widely available, allowing people to learn about topics such as such as gender identity and sexual orientation from the comfort of their own homes. Social media has also provided a platform for advocacy, allowing people to raise awareness about issues affecting the LGBTQ community and organize around social justice causes. And the fourth one is increased diversity of presentation. The internet has enabled people to access a wider range of representations of gender and sexuality beyond the limited portraits that may have been available in traditional media. This has helped to challenge stereotypes and promote more diverse and inclusive inclusive representations of gender and sexuality. Um, However, it's important to note that the internet can also be double-edged sword, as it can sometimes perpetuate harmful stereotypes and misinformation. Eh, It's crucial to critically evaluate online sources and ensure that the information being accessed is accurate and inclusive.
How does gender and sexuality affect society? So gender and sexuality are centrally important forces that shapes every aspect of our lives. We know our bodies, mind, and selves through our gender and our sex. A society, legal definition of social expectation about women and men's sex and reproduction organize our medical, legal, and educational and political systems. Society is the main reason why there is no gender equality. Because of discrimination towards people or person who just came out to be bisexual or tend to show what they truly feel. The problem of gender and sexuality is the society itself, where people will always have different objectives and opinions. It may be positive or negative. That's why it really has a massive impact on sexuality. Because the society itself is a cause of misperfections and judgment.
What affects the gender of an individual? Our gender identity is influenced by our personal experiences throughout the socialization process, the people with whom we relate, and our own choices. Example of the socialization process is how we talk, how we interact with others, and also our environment. Example to the people with whom we relate is like your elder siblings, or it could be your parents. Their thoughts, beliefs will influence you if you are with them all the time. But the one will decide of our gender is us. It's our choice, and that choice is given to us since the day we are born.
Gender affect personality because of their culture and belief. The peer pressure can have a significant impact on relationship toward friends, family, and other social influences. Can put pressure on individual to make a certain decision or behave in certain ways, which can affect their personality, how to identify their gender identity because of their surroundings. Everyone has a different perspective towards their gender preference. A lot has been affected, and there are also those who choose to abide. However, our gender policy should consider the needs and want to everyone. The time has changed. We are no longer confined to gender stereotypes that society has constructed. It is to intensify the movement towards freedom of expression.
So my topic to be discussed is about sexuality. So let's start. Sexuality plays important major aspects in the world, in the society, and of course, in the people living with. It's all about sexual feelings, thoughts, attractions, and behavior towards other people. It is a diverse and personal, and it is important to part of who you are. As we grow up, having feelings, attractions, or other behaviors towards other people, sexuality plays important role of ourselves because from this we will know who really we are or who we want to be. Coming regards to your sexuality, it is very liberating, exciting, positive experience of your personality. Sometimes it can take time to figure out on what the sexuality that fits you the best, and your sexuality can change over time. It can be confusing, so don't worry if you are unsure. Might be drawn to men or to women, to both or to neither, but one thing for sure, and always be remember, there is no right or wrong. It's about what's right for you. So, to clarify further information about sexuality, it is not about who you have sex with, or to other phenomena. Sexuality is about your sexual feelings, thoughts, attractions, and behavior towards other people. You can find other people physically or sexually or emotional attractive, and all those things are a part of your sexuality. Some people having hard time accepting others who are different to themselves, but always remember to be who you want to be, and if it's that makes you happy, so be it. Sexuality is one of the biggest part of who we are in a part of every person's life, and it's much more than sexual desire and activity. Sexuality can be source of great pleasure and meaning in life. Sexuality affects individual in various ways, including personal identity, relationship, emotional well-being, physical and mental health, and last is social and cultural factor. These aspects of sexuality affects one self at a time about their sexuality basis. Our sexuality is an integral part of who we are an individual, and it can have a significant impact on our overall health, well-being, and quality of life. Before I end this topic, I have one last to say that all human beings deserve equal treatment no matter what gender, identity, or sexuality is.
Sex and gender are two related but different concepts. Sex refers to the biological and psychological characteristics that define men and women. This includes reproductive organs, hormones, and chromosomes. It is typically categorized into male and female, but there are some people that may have physical characteristics that do not fit the typical male or female categories, and they are called intersex people. An example of sex is that males typically have XY chromosomes and females have XX chromosomes. Additionally, males tend to have a penis and testes, while females tend to have a vagina and ovaries. Now let's proceed to gender. Gender refers to the socially constructed rules, behaviors, and expectations that a society considers appropriate for men and women. It is a spectrum that includes masculinity, femininity, androgyny, and other gender expressions. Gender rules and expectations vary across cultures and can change over time. An example of gender is that in many societies, men are expected to be assertive and dominant or strong, while women are expected to be nurturing and submissive or caring. Gender rules can also vary depending on cultural norms, and individuals may identify with different identities such as non-binary or transgender. So sex is based on biological gender and has only two choices, male or female. But we can include the intersex, those individuals that may have physical characteristics do not fit the typical male or female categories. On the other hand, gender is an orientation of a human being based on the socially constructed rules. Men, men, women, woman, girl, boy, gay, or lesbian.
Personality of temperament. We born with our temperament, but our personality develop gradually, so they have and some connection they are quite different. Personality involves your thoughts, beliefs, dispositions, preference, behaviors, and traits. Both your temperament and characters influence your personality. Temperament in psychology, an aspect of personality concerned with emotional dispositions and reactors and their speed and intensity. The term is often used to refer to the prevailing mood or mood pattern of a person.
Facilitate sexual learning and decide the sexual attitude of the adolescent includes attitude of parents towards sexuality, parenting style, peer relationship, and cultural differences. Although the formation of gender identity is not completely understood, many factors have been suggested as influencing gender identity include pre- and postnatal hormone levels and genetic makeup. Social factors include ideas regarding gender role conveyed by family, authority figures, mass media, and influential people in child's life. According to social learning theory, children develop their gender identity through observing and imitating the gender-linked behaviors of others. They are then rewarded for imitating the behaviors of people of the same gender and punished for imitating the behaviors of another gender. For example, male children will often be rewarded for imitating their father's love of baseball, but punished or redirected in some way if they imitate their older sister's love of dolls. Children are shaped and molded by the people surrounding them, who they try to imitate, and follow. Social factors includes ideas between the rules conveyed by the family, authority figures, mass media, and other influential people in the child's life. The other studies suggest that both biological and environmental variables may play a role in a transgender development.
So my topic is what is sexual orientation. So sexual orientation is about who you are attracted to and want to have relationship with. Sexual orientation include gay, lesbian, straight, bisexual, and asexual. Sexual orientation is about who you are attracted to and who you feel drawn romantically, emotionally, and sexually. It's all about who you want to be with. So, ako nasabtanan ni nga topic. So, bali ang sexual orientation kay about ni sa kung kalino ka nga attract. Kay for example, ako nga laki. So, may project ko sa mga babae nga straight. Kanang mga straight po ng babae, may ibog sila sa mga laki. Yang kanang mga bisexual nga maibog sila sa mga laki o sa babae pud nya din mga gay na maibog sa mga laki nya mga lesbian nga maibog sa mga babae mao na siya gitawag nga sexual orientation. Dili siya about sa atong kagalingon but about sa atong natrakan na tao.